Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever this may find you. Today, we are continuing on with our ongoing campaign, playing Jeff Talanian's very cool Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. And this is playing our Reavers of Thule campaign, which is set in my fictional land of Thule. And the Reavers of Thule, who are the stars of this campaign, are the fine folks that you see before you here. Let's go through and do some introductions of who you are and who you're playing today. First up is George.
Hey, I'm George. I'm playing Mala Black, who is a Chimeric Celt warlock who got booted from the Mystic Order he was in, but he's decided he's going to start a whole new one.
Nice. I'll build my own theme park.
That's right.
Next up is Carl.
So I'm Carl. I play Iphigenia Akandatoro. She is an Amazonian warlock. So a warlock much like Mala's character, but she's a death dealer, so she's a necromancer.
So she's much cooler.
Yes.
And next up is Robert.
Hi, I'm playing Reagan, a rune braver. I always have to pause on that because Kevin screwed up the name a while back. And I always forget. Rune braver, and she's on a long-lost mission to try to find her father, but she has to get to Thule at some point, and she hears that she has a sense that there's some people in there trying to kill the person she's trying to find by feeding him poisoned wine.
Nice. And next up is Colin.
Hi, I'm Colin, aka Spike Pit, and I will be playing Kane the Hammerer. He's experiencing a few psychological difficulties currently, getting a little bit of the claustrophobia going on.
Yes. Oh, curses.
Curses.
And last but not least is Arlen Walker.
Hi, I'm Arlen, and at present I'm kind of our flex player to take over whoever's not here because my character died. So right now I'm playing Amar, and I'm gonna do my best to not let him die.
Nice. Yeah, what you see on the what do you call it? On the screen right now is Arlen's former character, Jason, on the funeral pyre.
Arlen, you should spend a astonishing point to get your new character in.
Yeah. Okay, so what are we doing here? So where we're going to pick up, guys, is well, I guess first off, like who wants to give us a summary of what's happened in the last couple of sessions? It's been 3 sessions for besieging for the second siege of Iron Fang Keep. Oh, actually, hold on, guys. Before we get into that, too, I will just mention that at the time of recording, it is 1 day left in the Kickstarter, the current Kickstarter for Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea. There's a couple new adventures that are being kickstarted on this. And past Kickstarters for Jeff Talanian, the guy who runs Northwind Adventures, the company that makes Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea, they have been amazing at their turnaround on Kickstarters to date. Like, they nail their release dates, and in some cases they meet them from before they're actually supposed to be due. So there's 2 new adventures that are coming out for this that are being kickstarted currently, and there's options through the Kickstarter to pick up copies of the core rulebook or the player's manual. So if you enjoy the session, if you enjoy the game, looks like a neat game. It is my personal favorite OSR game, hands down. Right at the time of recording, you can go to Kickstarter and find the current Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea Kickstarter 2. So, sorry, last...
Yeah, it's actually really cool. I just want to add in that the author, Chainsaw, he had been running this game at cons for a long time, and Jeff had noticed it, and I think that's how it developed into an actual product. So it's kind of neat.
Mm-hmm.
And I played it, some of it, but it's a really amazing adventure, so I highly recommend it to participating in this Kickstarter.
Yeah. So, cool. All right. And I mean, again, to be clear, the channel isn't monetized in any way. This is not a paid promo of any kind. This is just a game I absolutely love, and I've backed the Kickstarter, and I think a lot of the folks who are the players have also backed it. Yeah. Cool. All right, then let's launch in. Oh, Colin, you might be muted.
I'm muted. I was just going to say I would have participated, but I'm currently on a personally enforced purchase ban.
Well, also, I mean, the mailing to the UK for some of I is pretty fucking
No,
ridiculous.
It's brutal.
I have stuff coming from Odysseus, I think, next week, and I don't know why you guys insist on using gold, envelopes for the letters you send or the packages you send, but goddamn, is it expensive.
I know, right?
All right.
Why do they have to have a guy swimming across the Atlantic to personally bring it to you, man?
I mean, Lloyd from Modiphius is a super nice guy, but I mean, the hand deliver copies of Conan.
Yeah, that's why he looks so buff.
Yeah. Jeez. All right. Anyway, who wants to give a quick recap? How about our resident poet?
Oh, I haven't prepared poetry or anything.
No,
but
you
I
can just tell us what's
yeah,
This is a
yeah.
freestyle.
Yeah. So basically this all started when we ran into some Wimmick, and Wimmick, for those of you who don't know, are like centaurs but with lions instead of horses. And they said that their buddies had been kidnapped by beastmen, and so we had one round with the beastmen here in Iron Fang Keep and rescued the Wimmick. And then we decided, well, we need to come back because there's still a whole bunch of beastmen, and they're, represent a significant enemy force in the area. So we came back.
Let's quickly here. I'll jump in with some visual aids here to where is it? Siege of Iron Fang Keep. So this is what a beastman looks like.
Yeah.
Is this hideous subhuman thing, also called Vormis.
I don't buy, and just for the record, Kev, I don't buy this Iron Fang Keep nonsense either. It's Castle Grayskull in it.
Oh man, I now have to rewrite the rewards. There's gonna be no, no battle cats, no.
Right.
Oh, I did use a battle bear, I guess. So.
Yeah.
Sorry, Arlen, go ahead.
Yeah. So there was, chaos and intense action. Jason, my berserker, met his end at the hands of a beastman. We basically, so the last session, we were sort of holed up in one of the towers, and I can't remember if we actually rested or if we just sort of regrouped there.
You guys kept exploring it. Remember, there's the weird sound of the pipes you heard?
Yeah, so there was this crazy music going on that made Kane have triggered his PTSD basically, and caused him to get some sense of the calamitous collapse of this building upon his head. So he ran out, no, he didn't run out. He got put to sleep. That's what happened.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the heroes went upstairs and found the mad musician himself and beat the shit out of him and looted some stuff from inside, and then we did rest after that.
You also faced the pet of the thing as well, which was
that creepy dude.
Yeah. Oh yes, the winged horror. Yeah. So, we faced a lot of bad things and then decided to rest to try to recover, and that didn't work out quite as well as we hoped because.
Does this ring a bell as well too?
Yep, those things are down in the Great Hall. Anyway, Jason, who had died, if you remember, turned out to not be as dead as we thought, and had to be put down again. And so then in the aftermath of that chaos, we decided to build a pyre for Jason. And so here he is, body on the pyre. Everybody gathered around to say their respects to their favorite berserker. And I think that's where we left off.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. That's great.
So, with the dying light of the sun setting in the west, the light of the funeral pyre, burning or the flickering of the flames cast into your faces. What are you guys thinking here?
I mean, we've got some of the stuff. I mean, got quite a bit of, treasure.
Yeah. And there's still parts of the castle that have yet to be explored, And then there's, of course, those shades
Yeah.
that are there.
Reagan didn't see them the first time. I assume that somebody's talked to, she probably asked what was in there. I guess maybe he goes up to George at some point, or sorry, Milo at some point and says, what was in the, you guys were downstairs. What do you guys see down here?
Yeah, they were spirits, unquiet spirits, who thought they were participating in some kind of ancient battle and thought it was still going on. Seemed incredibly dangerous. So we may wish to explore other areas before we go back there.
And there were two, just as a refresher too, because I know we've played a lot of different games in between too. Yeah. And I think this was like 2 sessions ago, so it might have been like a month ago. But there were two design elements to the clothing and armor that were worn by the two groups of spirits. There was that lone standing figure who had a clasp that seemed identical to the one around Amar's neck as well. And then the others had their armor seemed stylized as if it was some form of ancient Hyperborean armor.
Right, and I think for some reason I called them rhyme spirits.
Yes, because there was where they moved, there was that like what do you call it, the trail of frost behind them.
So these are some kind of ancient warriors who've been. We had heard about them before we came to Iron Keep. We had heard rumor that there were spirits here. So I'm assuming they've been here for a very long time. So I don't know if they're going to go anywhere. I don't know if we'll be able to, dismiss them or quiet them. But
they were Hyperborean, you said?
Hyperborean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan looks at the doors, and you can almost see that she wants to open them. But when you start talking about how ancient they look, she kind of pauses and says, "We need to find a way to get them to rest." But that's for another day.
Yeah, and I think that I can't remember which of you. It might have been Malo who, or maybe Iphigenia, who spoke to what's his name, Earthweaver, the shaman of the Black Claw tribe, and he was telling you guys about their oral history of Thule, about the was it the Warlock Prince or the Warlock King?
Warlock King.
Yeah, the Warlock King and the foul influence he has over this land. And the markings, I think you guys did show him those discs you found, and those had the same script that were the markings of the Warlock King. They know, like the Black Claws know to avoid it and not mess around with that stuff because it's ancient and unsafe, magics. But yeah,
We still don't know what the discs do, right? We haven't had the time to
No.
examine.
We know that the discs are keys used to unbind things of great value or great danger. It's the only bit of information we got.
Okay.
Is there anywhere on the door that the discs would seem to match? Not that she wants to come anywhere near the door with those.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should. Well, I guess the pyre is done. We should collect. We should collect the ashes. It seems.
Yes.
From Yason.
okay.
And try to bring him back to his. I guess. Do we know where Yason's homeland is?
Anybody knew his mom? No.
He's Camarian, isn't he? Was he Camarian?
Very Celt.
He was Camarian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm
but
Camarian Kelso.
He I don't remember how much detail he went into about it, but he spent a fair bit of time as a thrall for the Vikings and seemed to be something of a wanderer or wastrel in the time in between knowing you guys and being a thrall. So I'm not sure if he has anybody to,
So
who are you going to send the dog tags to? Probably just put them back in the
Well,
museum.
maybe we'll put it into the sea.
Either the sea or just like cast them to the wind kind of thing so that he can just blow around out in the wilderness.
Okay. So it'll be a few hours. I mean, for the pyre to burn down and whatnot, it's going to take quite a few hours. It'll likely burn through the night. It's just the early dusk right now. What do you guys like? What sort of? Let's maybe talk about what your strategy is here for whether you're going to hold up here.
my strategy is to go to sleep instantly.
Do you need help with that, or you can do it on your own?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so you got the pyre for source of fire here. You're not worried about that. But does somebody want to? Does anyone want to hunt? Where are you guys in terms of your food?
Right.
Like I know you brought rations from the Black Claws that they gave you, so I think you took enough. It was 2 days, I believe, to get up here and 2 days to get back to the Black Claw camp. So you certainly have enough supplies to eat.
Here's what we have. We got 5 days of food and water. We got 1 water ration, though.
I don't think we want to
Each.
forage around the castle, so I think it's probably just eat the food that we have, right?
I don't know. Hey guys, those what do you call it? Punji sticks are not going to trigger themselves. Okay, so everyone's just going to spend the evening in the keep then?
Well, I'm yes, and there must be the beastmen must have had some source of water, or must have been collecting water. It would seem so. I might just do a quick cursory look around and see if I find any potable water.
Let's see here. There are supplies in the tower right up here. The northwestern tower.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, so you guys will be able to get your the water. The meat, you're probably not going to want to touch, or at least keep the Wemmick out, because that's what they've done is skinned. I mean, you may remember that when you first came here, there was the drying skins of the Wemmick that were set out, and they've done the same with the meat as well.
Okay.
Yep.
I would just get them beastmen and start cooking them. I've got no problem with that. They look healthy.
So the weather might be okay with that. I'm not.
Right.
So.
Well, we basically have 1 extra day's worth of food for the whole round trip. We have 2 days both ways, and then we have 1 extra day. So we don't have to find any right now if we're afraid to venture out.
You know what I'll say is that you guys do have 1 extra. You're going to be able to not. I mean, assuming you're not going to eat Wemmick, you will be able to scrounge 1 extra day each of rations from what the supplies that the Beastman had.
Great.
So you've at least got that. Okay.
I'm not.
Cool,
I'm not joking about a beastman, Kev.
That's an astonishing point. If he eats one of them, I'll give him mine.
Yeah, sure. No, so you can cook that. Yeah, and I mean it's gonna have kind of a bush meat kind of flavor to it, I imagine. But yeah, you can definitely get some meat out of that. Am I going to assume that it's gonna be standard kind of watch rotation?
Yeah.
But before the first night though, Reagan is still curious about those doors. She says, ask George, says, or Mello, do you have the sense that if we opened the doors and just looked in, that they could kind of get out?
I don't know for sure. I didn't have time to really study them, but it seemed to me that they were somehow tied to that area. They did not follow me, I can tell you that, when I left.
But the doors had some symbols on them, correct? That might be warding?
No.
Still there?
No.
The symbol still there? No. Oh, it was just frost.
Yeah, it was
That's right.
frost.
Yes,
Frost.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. She says, I would like to take a look inside.
Okay.
But from the door.
Okay. I'm going to step back.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's a bad idea.
You think it's bad idea? She looks to the others.
It's a bad idea for me.
Yeah, bad idea for you.
But
Okay.
if you're very curious, you can go ahead.
Okay, so where are you thinking of going here?
So Reagan will go. I was really hoping that I could use the open cantrip, but apparently I can't. She's gonna go right here. She's gonna just try to crack the door at first.
Okay.
To look in.
So
If there's anything really close, she's gonna immediately close it.
Okay. So let me turn this down. I'm going to turn up the wind.
Nice.
Okay. So Reagan cautiously moves herself up towards the door. Her allies farther back in the darkened courtyard.
Yep.
You can see that there's still the sign on the surface of the outside of this courtyard. There's still the clear evidence of the violence that has been wrought here in the last week or so. You make your way up, and the door does not have the frost or the rime of frost on it that it did before. But when you touch the handle to this door, it definitely has the feeling of as if like it was made of or plunged in ice or snow. You feel all the warmth drain from your hand, and you have to kind of bring back and then grab it again.
And then pause for a moment and thinks about this, because if the frost was always on the door, or did it appear when we first saw it?
I thought, my recollection is that it was there when we first approached.
So it might actually be dissipating.
Now, Amar saw this, so he would be able to remind you. Okay. The frost formed after a beastman fled from him and ran in there.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
So they probably are quiet at the moment. The spirits are quiet, but once they're disturbed, they probably appear, and that brings the cold.
Okay, that makes sense. So she'll try to open the door.
Okay. So you carefully open the door. Bold move. Bold move.
I have my backup character generated.
Perfect.
Good. Okay, and what you see before you is this. And it is a long, basically meeting room. There's a long table in there with chairs, but moving around the table. Well, first off, standing on the far side, let's do this step by step. Standing on the far side, whoops, wrong thing, is, of course, this sad-looking figure who stands there and silently wearing a robe very similar to what Amar wears, with that same clasp on it that you guys have come to learn is the mark of the Rangers of Thule. He's gesturing towards these figures as if speaking to them, perhaps commanding, perhaps pleading. It's tough to tell without without hearing what they're having to say, but the things that are approaching this figure are these baleful, spectral figures. The versions that we see in ours have slightly the more distinct conical head, pieces that that is characteristic of the Hyperboreans. So you stand there, Reagan, and it's like a winter gale suddenly kind of blasts you, and these things seem to slowly are drifting around the table, moving towards the moving towards this figure, and you can hear from behind you, and this is easily going to become my #1 overly used sound clip.
Behind you, it's in the courtyard.
Yeah, this is behind you. You hear this from where you're standing.
Okay. She turns her head without moving from the spot behind her. So I guess she'll be looking right about here. Anything?
So you hear all of that going on, and you're kind of looking around, like it's as if this thing is smashing and crashing around you, but you're not seeing anything. And the rest of you guys cannot hear this.
Okay.
You're all sort of like, Reagan looks like she's freaking out right now.
I don't know about freaking out, but definitely yeah.
No, Robert, come on. Okay. If you heard a dragon land near you or on you, you're going to keep your cool?
Okay.
I was thinking Jurassic Park right there.
Yeah.
True.
So she's...
Yep,
the figures in the in the area that are in the room there, they seem to just continue moving over. And then let's see here, Reagan, would you kind of give me a save versus sorcery?
Sure. That is...
It's not mind affecting, so no any wisdom modifier won't change that.
Alright, let me find that.
Okay.
Where the heck did I put the character sheet? I had it up so that I wouldn't have to find it again. And now...
Did you minimize it?
I thought I did, so I just looked. I didn't find it, so I'm just gonna. There we go. Got it again. Put it out. Save versus sorcery.
There we go.
I do have a.
Nice. Okay, so what happens? You feel something frigid pass through you, like as if a cold wind blew across your naked form, you know, and you just like, oh, stop, and something suddenly, as if it appears only when crossing the threshold, boom, another figure walks past, but this time with a much more ornate helm on, and a longer, more elaborate robe behind, big kind of pauldrons with accoutrements on them, and this figure strides forward, raises up this sword, and in an angry gesture towards this spectral form, and makes a gesture to the side, and one of the other specters suddenly has a sword appear in its hand, which it plunges into that ranger, the spectral ranger, who then collapses to the ground and disappears. The newly appeared figure gestures to each side, and the other specters go racing off, and they fade out of view, as if, you know, fog disappearing before the morning sun.
She doesn't step forward. She's curious. Now that she's seen it, she wants to close the door, and then, like, she thinks it might reset, so then she opens again.
Okay. So as you step forward, this figure that has its back to you,
Yep.
its head cocks slightly to the side.
This one right here.
Yes, and it slowly turns back towards you. And
Before I closed the door the first time.
okay, let's do this here. Hold on. So this. Where is he? He turns towards you, and what I'm going to get you to do is, Robert, would you kindly give me a D6 roll?
Is this with the slash in front? I can't remember. It's been a while. Roll, yeah, D6.
Nice! So yeah, this thing turns and it starts making its way towards you. Its weapon still drawn, gleaming in the. In spite of the light being this like lovely, warming orange fire from the bonfire, or orange light from the bonfire, this thing seems as if illuminated by a cold white, moonlight, and you're able to boom slam the door before it gets there. And then what you see is there's a kind of a bit of frost that forms as if something had stabbed through.
Yep.
And then there's a streak of it going down, where you are like you just barely miss getting struck by that thing.
Okay. She doesn't open the door again.
Okay.
The next time she opens the door, there will not be any frost on it.
Okay.
It won't be tonight.
All right. So.
He comes back, definitely looking shaken, but says, "I have a thought down the road of how to put these spirits to rest, but I need to think on it."
Okay. So, Reagan, I'm assuming, are you going to share what you experienced with everyone?
Yes.
Oh.
She says there was there was an old, there was a kind of not sad looking, definitely an older, somewhat forlorn-looking man behind the table, and he looked to have been assassinated by basically warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think if we can ask, we need to find a way to put him at rest. And I don't know. I don't know if that means killing those who would attempt to kill him, or if there is something else. So my thought is down the road we can open the door and potentially ask him before they get to him. But
Okay.
I'm not sure I need to think on this.
Yeah, well, we can revisit.
Yeah.
So you didn't see anything resembling the, I saw nothing resembling the battle that you described.
Interesting.
Yes.
It might be different periods in their history.
Yeah.
Have we not got a learned, holy person that would know what to do in this situation?
Reagan.
That's closest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mala and Amar, they interacted with these creatures earlier. Did they talk to them?
Right through.
I tried to talk to them. I don't recall what the conversation was. I was too busy getting the hell out of there.
Is there a role I could make, intellect or wisdom, that might give me some insight?
For which?
Just like how I might put these to rest. based on
So
what I saw.
this is here's a good opportunity to differentiate between the old school play and modern play. There's a reason that they have sages and whatnot in the book. In the same way that, being a soldier and being an academic is a different career in our world. Same thing in the old school world. Like you've got functional knowledge of how to work runes and things like that, but you don't have your character, especially with your back. What is your secondary skill?
Sailor.
Yeah. So like, you definitely have blessed by the gods. Yeah, in being able to craft runes and things like that. But your character's not a scholar of it by any means. So that, unfortunately,
So we'll need to find a scholar.
yeah. I mean, what's his name? To help you with that though, what's his name?
Earthweaver?
Earthweaver. It seemed to be fairly knowledgeable.
Yes.
You know.
Although you might have different. I'm not sure that his.
A third siege of Iron Fang Keep.
Yeah. Yes. I'm just gonna rename the campaign.
Siege of Iron Keep.
We're also gonna rename the what do you call it? The keep to be Sisyphus feet or keep.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, can you help me with this rock? Let's go.
Exactly.
Looks like Arlen's about to fall asleep. We need to get moving.
Yeah.
I was gonna make we must imagine the Reavers of Thule to be happy.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
All right. So should we just should we do our rest?
Yeah.
We'll have our normal
Okay.
standard operating procedure of
Yeah.
taking watches.
Still sleeping. Storm.
I need to get the oversized D6s for
Right.
random encounters. I don't want to have you guys miss out on the tactile satisfaction of hearing the random encounter rolls.
Yeah.
I see.
I laugh at those oversized D6, Kev.
Yeah, with your giant D20.
and my giant D6.
Holy shit!
Okay.
That's awesome.
I nominate Colin for what do you call him?
Go large or go home.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, guys, so an entire evening spent around the funeral pyre for Yason. Apart from the sound of the wind and the crackling of the flames, the evening passes uneventfully. With the cold dawn of morning... Let's see, has everyone... I guess just... Malo, do you have a constitution bonus to your hit points?
I do. I have a +1.
Okay, so you're for sure going to be at max hit points.
Yes.
So you wake up, everyone does their morning, ablutions or studies or whatever. Everyone has their powers back. Everyone's at full hit points. Someone want to give me a D8 roll for Cloud Wound? Whoever is controlling Cloud Wound?
That is me.
Who controls Windseeker? Is that Amar?
That's me.
Oh, is that you? Okay, cool, great.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
So roll
okay.
for a D6.
No, Windseeker's already at full.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's good. Excellent. Okay, so then Cloud Wound is also back up to full.
Yeah. I'll do that right now.
All right.
Yeah.
So, guys, the dawn. So the light of dawn is here. It's still dark in this courtyard because with the shadows cast by the early morning sun are certainly looming far into here and onto the ashes of the funeral pyre. But the survivors of the second expedition to Iron Fang Keep now stir. Kane, I think, like looking up and seeing the wide open Thulean sky above you. It feels better knowing that you're not in that, that you're not having to be in that collapsing, cursed structure. But what are you guys going to do?
Leave, head back to Wemmickville.
Gather up some of those ashes of our fallen comrade.
Okay.
So do we want to investigate the remainder of this?
I thought we've looked at everything except for that room. Yeah, the one tower was empty. One tower had the weird Viper.
There is a door on the far side of the room where those spectral wraiths are. That seems to lead further into the keep. And I think that Kane is familiar with the construction of keeps. There would, of course, be a cellar in the keep as well.
And you can keep it, my friends.
Keep that keep?
Keep that keep and its cramped cellars.
We're not going to get around the spectral battle. I mean, we don't want to risk it, right?
Well, that's the question. I mean, we obviously accomplished our initial goal. So we've defeated the Beastmen. I think we've eradicated them as far as we know, unless there's some hunting party out somewhere, but they haven't returned in a day. So it seems like that's no longer a threat. So the question is, do we want to investigate this other area, or do you want to go back to the Wemmicks first and potentially get more information about these rhyme spirits?
Does anyone, the spellcasters in the group, does anyone have detect magic? Or let me did anyone prepare it? Because let me remind you that we're using a house ruled version of detect magic that it effectively does the same thing as identify.
Yeah, so yes, that is one of my 3 prepared spells for the day.
Okay, because you guys do have a bunch of unidentified magic items as well, too.
That's true.
Well, I'm happy to cook up some breakfast if you wish to identify some of this strangeness with your magical.
Do you mean more Beastmen burgers?
Yeah, more Beastmen. I got a special on Beastmen burgers.
How sense evil works? Is it has to be an active intent to do evil, or would it?
Yes, detect evil works in this game. It's like it needs to be either like a force of supernatural evil, like undead or a demon or a daemon or something like that, or it needs to have an ill intent on you.
Okay, and so it wouldn't be so she wouldn't be able to detect like a curse on an item or anything like that.
No. Not with that, no.
Not unless it was like a Stormbringer intelligence sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So detect magic has a duration of 1 turn, 10 minutes. So I don't know how many items I can investigate in that time.
If you're going to use that, I'm fine with it being that will be sufficient for you to identify all the magic items you guys found.
Okay, great, because we have quite a number.
Yeah.
So all right, I'll cast.
Oh, you may have shit from previous days. Is it only stuff from here, or is it stuff from other encounters that you have not identified yet?
Well, I think it's mostly. I think we've identified everything else. Looking back here, before this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who took that second ranger's cloak too? Do you guys remember?
I don't remember. Yeah, it was identical to the one we had already.
Yeah, so we know Amar's got one.
So maybe Reagan.
No, Reagan wouldn't have taken it, and I remember that it went to somebody else.
Yeah, do you remember who that went to?
Hold on, let me think. Was it George?
No, I didn't think so, but I mean, I would take it. But Amar took the radium gun.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So Amar got that.
Maybe it went to Iphigenia?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Another went to...
I mean, he's on a quest to kind of find your
That's right. Yeah, that's right. I went to Malo. I remember watching that because you were on the quest to find the Rangers. You put it around you put it on, but it didn't have any obvious effect.
Okay, so that makes sense. So that's one thing we didn't identify. We have a black obsidian mirror, We have a staff that's white, pearlescent, and feels wet. We have a ring. We have a stylized wolf helmet, and we have a potion. Those are the things that we have not identified.
Okay, so you say again, you've got a ring, a staff.
Correct. A wolf helmet.
Yep.
And a potion. And and black obsidian mirror.
Black obsidian.
Which I don't know if that was if that was magical or not.
Okay.
I must say I'm quite intrigued by that stylized wolf helmet. That seems quite.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what the things do. First off, let's start with the cloak itself.
Okay.
So the cloak, as with the cloak that our Amar now wears, this is a cloak of protection, which grants a magical bonus to armor and saving throws. This is a cloak of protection +3.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's pretty good. This is why you guys got such a fat XP reward. The dice were in your favor when I was randomly generating this horde.
Nice.
Okay. The staff. The staff is a staff of curing.
We should give that to Reagan.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only thing I'll ask is, does detect magic also pick up if there's any curses or anything on them?
That won't pay. I think there actually is a detect curse thing. So
she would grudgingly take that. She's not even going to get close to taking a ring.
I'm going to give you a point of astonishing fortune for that too, Robert. That's fucking great role playing. For those who may be unfamiliar, or for those listening at home, well, why don't you tell us about Reagan's backstory briefly?
I think everybody here knows, but she was in a one-shot, what I thought was a one-shot, where it was one of your charity games, and I played her father, who had come back with a number of items that he wanted to identify, and basically she got into, I think he lost the ring or something in the room, and she basically put it on her finger when she was not quite a teenager, I don't think, and basically it caused her to waste away and get weaker and weaker. So the last time he saw her, she was more or less, she probably looked undead, even though she wasn't. Basically, skin so close over her bones and whatnot. You know, she obviously knew it was the ring. So.
Yeah. So. His whatever he did in his first venture to Thule, he freed her from that curse, but she's been pretty leery of magical items since then. So, Robert, why don't you give me a 1d20 roll, please?
Sure. Character sheet. That time I went to the character sheet instead. When I don't, we'll get this Yep. Okay.
Okay, nice. So the staff has 55 charges in it. And it's on page 441 of the rulebook.
Okay.
If you want to see what it does. Okay, so that was the staff. The ring. The ring is a ring of fire resistance. And it has the look of like dragon scales. It's as if it's a twine. It's entirely made of dragon scales. The Wolf Helm. Kane is quite keen on that thing. Wolf Helm is a cursed item that turns your head into a wolf. No, I'm kidding.
Immediately he puts it on.
Yeah.
But you have to cut your own head off to use
Yeah.
Excellent, even better.
Yeah, I guess we were talking about the head of Vecna story.
Yeah. Okay, so the this black iron great helm is formed in the visage of a snarling wolf. Grants the wearer +1 AC and the ability to understand the wild speech of werewolves. Oh, sorry, wolves, not werewolves. It also allows you to identify werewolves on sight, but I can't imagine that's going to be, knowing my predilection for, lycanthropes and undead. I mean, when's that going to come up? Come on.
Yeah, useless item.
I mean, I would quite like the cool wolf hat if everybody's.
Okay.
I don't know. That sounds good for Virginia too, but
Let's see.
Well, man.
Let's talk about what. Let's finish going through this, and then we'll go through a list of what everyone has got so far.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the potion is a potion of super speed.
I feel like that would benefit Amar best because then it'll totally make him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's identical to
You
a
like the Flash.
haste spell, which lasts 5d4 rounds, but it ages the drinker by 1 year.
Oh.
Or any fighter too.
Okay, and then the mirror, the black obsidian mirror. What that does is, ooh,
Iphigenia, you ain't got anything, have you?
That's all right. Well, what does the mirror do? I want to see what it is.
so the mirror, and this isn't like a stand-up mirror. This is not like a,
Oh,
like hand mirror. It reveals the presence and severity of disease in any creature viewed. And, oof. It also can, if there is disease identified, and this is stuff that you've picked up, Malo, and I think the way that you know this stuff is because of, this is an ancient Hyperborean artifact. And this is something that you've read about in the, towers, in the tower libraries of Cromarium, in the great city of Cromarium, back on Hyperborea. And what this does is not only does it detect disease, it will then immediately disintegrate things that have shortly after. So there's time to get away from it if it's detected, but if you remain standing in front of it, it will disintegrate the diseased target.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that is not an item for warriors. So
yeah, I don't want that.
You just carry it around
Seems
with
like
you
a bad
before anything,
idea.
like, hold on, everybody. Okay, put this down. I'm ready to fight.
Yeah,
Iphigenia, take this
I'm
wolf
not there.
helm.
Quick, infect the enemy with cooties, then...
Yeah.
Right.
Hold on.
Now,
no, but I mean,
look at
maybe
the mirror.
work against those spore things
Oh, that's interesting.
if they're diseased, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
Okay, so that's what the things are.
I thought it might be cool for the Wemmick, but
So,
just
whose character has not received any magic items yet?
It's like Carl of a genetic.
Yeah, Carl's got nothing so far, right?
Yeah.
What has everyone else received? I know Kane's got the hammer.
I got a big ass hammer.
Yeah.
Did we identify the ring? Oh, that was the...
Amar's got a cloak and the radium gun.
Right. I've got a scimitar. I've got a scimitar.
Oh, yeah, right.
Reagan's got the staff of curing. Did we identify the ring? You said there was a
It's a
ring.
ring
Yes,
of fire.
Yeah,
resistant.
fire resistance.
Okay, got it. Yep.
So what do you think, guys? That means that there's a ring of fire resistance, there's the potion, and there's the wolf helm.
Iphigenia should totally have the wolf helm. I can see that. Working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. It could work.
Okay, so that'll give you...
I think a frontline fighter should have that ring. I mean, it's kind of... Does Mala already have fire resistance, right?
I don't have fire resistance, but I have the cloak. So I'm
No, I know. Well, so maybe Kane, because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
doused himself in oil and light himself on fire.
You and Torch.
That would be quite cool. I mean, working as a hammerer in the forge and everything, I quite like the idea of that fire theme. That would be quite legit.
Okay. So you put that dragon, that stylized dragon scale ring on.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. Would you kindly give me... No, I'm kidding.
now.
Love me some...
Reagan looks at that mirror and she's like, "This needs to be destroyed."
I mean, I could see how it could help the Wemmicks, like, against their foes, like the spore containing creatures.
Yeah, I mean, that would... If you want to turn the lens over to them, I don't think they'd say no.
Yeah, with the caveats.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, guys, what are we doing today? Are we setting out on the way back towards the Black Claw encampment?
So the only thing Reagan will say about if we go back, try to explore the cellar of the keep. The only thing we now know is that the scene that we see when we open the door is not necessarily the same each time. So it could be easier to get through to the other side.
Mm.
Right. Did they seem to try to block you when you approached?
That is, well, yes, they did.
Well, when you the scene, Malo, what you saw when Reagan opened the door, that played out effectively the same as you did, but you interfered. Remember, you
Right.
moved in. That's where things played out differently. That's when they all stopped and they all turned towards you, and then.
Yep.
Right. So.
Okay.
Whatever kind of drama is playing out over and over and over again in there, maybe it is the same thing. And just that by you interfering is what prevented it from going again.
And so
I didn't remember the original.
Mm.
You didn't trigger them. So we would have to figure out if we were trying to go forward, we'd have to figure out a way to sort of appease them before we try to cross that door, or we could go back to the WebEx, talk to Earthweaver, and see if Earthweaver knows how to do that.
Or run
say
across really fast.
I say curse this godforsaken place. Let's return to the Wemex. Let these ghosts have their ghostly games amongst themselves.
We do have quite a bit of ill-gotten gains.
I think we should return. I would like to see these at peace, but I will go with what the rest of the group says.
Because we have a lot of coins as well. We have 4,000 copper, 6,000 electrum. We have tons of other stuff as well. So I guess it's a heavy load. We might want to take it back. We're not that far away from the WEMEX, so we could always come back here.
Okay.
We can always consult with
Earthweaver.
Earthweaver as well.
Hmm.
Okay.
And one of these days we can get to Thule board.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that?
Let's not talk crazy.
Yeah.
I doubt that place exists.
Right. It's like Brigadoon.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like we've decided to return.
Okay.
To the
So
WebEx.
let's go to the let's see here. Thule board tails. Oh, I'm gonna. Let's go to the map of.
Totally false advertised this campaign, man. I'm telling you. Thule Tales.
Well, to be fair, it does just say Reavers of Thule, not.
Oh yeah, no,
Borg.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm getting bleed. I'm getting bleed across from.
And now we've established that now that I finished the map of Thule, it is larger than Canada. So there's a whole bunch of reading you guys got to do.
Yeah, we've gotten like 20 miles, and then we have 6,000 miles to go.
Okay. Okay, so let's see here. Let me bring you guys over to Iron Fang Keep here, or to the bigger map. Where are you? There we go. And I'll reping here. There we go. Okay. So, you guys are setting out, and who would like to make the roll for water first thing?
I can do that.
Yep. Okay, so you'll be we'll have for the session. You're going to be rolling for water.
Cool.
Is that the extent of what we've mapped?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm saying.
And these are like what, 3 mile hexes or?
They are 8. I think they're 8 miles.
I think you said 8. Yeah, but if you just compare that to the actual completed map.
We're going to be playing this when we're 100 years old.
Yeah.
It's only been what 9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're into our 8th month of the campaign. You guys have revealed about as many hexes.
Exactly.
But it is every other week, so it's actually
Yeah, that's true. That's very
4
true.
months.
Yeah, that's real good going, guys.
Yeah.
Well done. High five.
I guess maybe I should.
How many sessions?
We should rethink. We'll keep using the as memory. We'll use the token of Yasin as the party token to keep moving across.
I think it's appropriate.
Okay. So then, what's the percentile roll, please, for water?
Nope.
Nope. No water in the morning. Okay. And Never mind. Here we go. Okay. Then, so you guys move. I'm taking it you're going to move straight down here.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. And as a reminder, you're once again transitioning from the Borean Plains, where Ironfang Keep is located, back into the tundra.
All right.
So let's do this. Okay. And let's take a look at the handouts here. Boom. Yeah, there we go. This is once again what you find yourself in, is sprawling miles and miles and miles of desolate tundra. With nary a bit of water to drink. After 4 hours of travel, you find yourself. We have no range. Oh, we got the what do you call it? The Wemmick count as rangers or huntsmen.
Okay.
They actually know what they're doing.
Yeah. The
Right.
holy, as a non sequitur, the when you suddenly don't have anyone trained in survival, I put some rules together for overland travel in our PF2 game, and holy shit, is it scary getting lost in the Barrowmoor now? Look, it's really fucking hard to find your way back.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So the first bit of the day is uneventful. The second half of your travel, boom. Guys, the evening arrives. You make camp, and it is uneventful. Now, would Malo give me another roll for Vasa? Let's see if you find any water.
Nope.
No water. Oh, we lost Carl. Carl, are you still in chat or in the?
Yeah, I'm still in chat. I
Okay.
hit the wrong button.
Okay. So you rolled your stealth roll pretty well there. So unfortunately, no water. So I think you guys are you guys out of water now?
We collected some water from the keep
Yeah.
supply area, so it was one ration each.
Yeah. So before you left, I mean, there would have been sufficient water. You've each got one food ration in addition to whatever you brought with you.
We had like 5 days of water. Like
Okay. Yeah. And you wouldn't have used the water for when you're in the keep. You could. That stuff does not appear to be tainted. So you can drink that. The evening comes, and let's see how the evening passes. The evening passes uneventfully. Sit around a small campfire. Next morning comes. This will be the last bit of journey. Go ahead, Malo, give me a roll for water.
Okay. No.
Just to say, Reagan would like each evening to basically have stories of Arlen and the fallen Wemmicks to hopefully ease their passage
Sure.
each night.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys find yourself passing into the Black Claw camp now. And let's see how, or not, let's see if you get there. Yeah, and you get there uneventfully. The day passes. It seems as if perhaps your fallen comrade is watching over you. Your journey is uneventful, a day and a half of travel, and you find yourself moving back in amongst the sprawling community of yurts set up by the Black Claw Wemmick. All right, so 2 things we're going to do here. One is we're halfway through our session right now, so we're going to take our break to get relieve old man bladders, to refresh coffee and so forth. Second, Arlen, do you have a character entered, a backup character yet?
I don't have the character entered, but I've got it in my mind.
Sure. So if you want to start entering just like the necessary combat stats and stuff, I've got a character sheet there for you for Arlen backup. You go ahead and do that because
Awesome.
he or she will be in the camp. And
Very cool.
because you played in the last couple of sessions, I'll let that character start with 2,000 XP. That's
great.
about half of what you got from the last couple of sessions. So this is brand new, fresh-faced person. They've got a little bit of experience traveling Thule under the block. So let's take a 5-minute break, guys, and then we will come back. And I'm keeping reminded that I need to do. Let's see here. Can I find intermission music?
That's a great idea.
We had someone last night.
I was listening to when I logged in. I was a little creeped out, I gotta say.
The Monty Python intermission music would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Here, guys. This is going to be the this is the lobby music, or the lobby kind of filler. Let me stop the weather blowing here, and this is our break to the lobby.
Nice.
Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay. I like our 20s speakeasy music there, Carl.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's cool.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, how did you organize all your... I was looking at the journal, and yours is well organized. How did you do that?
That would be a necessity thing, is because we had so many...
No. How do you do it?
So what I do is I go to, when I go to add, I just hit add, and then I hit folder, and then you can name the folder or rename it, and then you just, when you hover over something, you see how, like, there's that little 3-bar thing, and maybe this is just a DM only thing, but like if I'm hovering over, say, Amar's character, there appears this, like, there's 3 bars that disappear where his picture is. I can then left click, like hold down left click, and then I can move it around.
Oh, okay.
And that's all you do is you just drag it around, and then you sometimes have to hover around the folders, and you can collapse.
You can make all the folders, and then you put everything in it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do you make the? Where is the tab to make the folders?
Tab to make the folders, same place you would make characters or make handouts.
Okay. In the journal.
Yeah, exactly. Under the journal, you just hit add, and it gives you the option of character, handout, or folder.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then you
And
just...
then you just open or close the folder. Yeah, because some of my games I run multiple iterations of, and
Yeah. Yeah, and I had to do the same thing too. Like that's just with so many people playing in the same thing, and then also having some one shots that I had run with it as well, like the Terror at Outpost Theta and whatnot. And what was the other one? Oh, and the original Thule adventure. I needed to organize that stuff.
yeah.
Hey, has anybody here, I guess it's just a couple folks, heard of or played the Harn world by Columbia Games?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
How did you like that?
I love Harn World. It just you got to find the right system. Like I run it with the traditional Harn, and the rules are just it's a lot. It's kind of like on the RuneQuest side of complexity.
Okay.
I did run Harn World with a game called Riddle of Steel,
Okay. I have Riddle of Steel, actually.
which was really cool because I had a lot of player-driven. Like I didn't run any adventures. I just had all the player motivations, and they just kind of did things.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna run the the cool thing about Harn. There's no like meta story. Everything starts or stops at 720, and you go from there.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like the world. Columbia Games is having the Cities of Harn Kickstarter right now, which is actually a really good deal, even if it's all PDF.
Yeah.
I have a lot of those products. I'm trying to think of. I also ran. So I ran the Harn. I also ran like a play-by-post that Jason Hobbs was in a long time ago called Shadows. It was called Black Wings over Orball, and it was like dealing with a civil war in the Viking ortholog in the Harn world, which is called it's called Ivinia. But then they have like colonies in the Harn, like the Harn Island. It was like a succession. It was good. I've had a lot of good fun with it. It's very rich material.
Yep.
If you're like someone who likes to design their own adventures, it's perfect.
Yep.
There's not a lot of published adventures for it, so that's a little challenging if that's your style. But there's so many hooks and so much detail, and the cartography is fantastic.
Yes.
I would also look up Kythera, Kytheria.com,
I found that one. Yeah. Yeah.
and they have like all the rest of the world. I think so Kytheria.com was the former author N. Robin Crosby's not side gig, but that was what he wanted. He kind of, I guess they had a thing, a split or an agreement with Columbia Games. Columbia Games with Harn and a few other areas, or all the published they have, like Ivinia, Sharkhind. Kytheria does doing the rest of the world, and there's some cool products I want to get that deal with things that they never touched on in the Harn verse.
Yeah.
So it's cool. I recommend it, but again, it's like if you're designing, and you could use any. You don't have to use the Harn verse. You can use any system really. System agnostic.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
Maybe I'll try to figure out a way to use. Well, the only weird thing is if you try to keep. The only place where it gets weird is like, or the most challenging is trying to figure out the schools of magic. But there could be a way to do it because they have different schools of magic, which are kind of elemental in nature. And the original Harn had like more or less every spell was a skill. So I guess the closest thing that is like Warhammer RPG, as opposed to like the fantasy and.
All right, guys. Sorry. We're gonna cut the Harn chat now, and
later, Robert.
Yeah. We can, so, seeing you guys come walk into the Wemmick encampment, you guys are greeted by the basically, the entire Blackclaw tribe, and. What is it that you guys, as you know, you can see that there's warriors and civilians or whatever, or other members of the tribe that you have come to kind of recognize. They come walking forward as well, or in amongst the group. There is of course Chief Clawbinder and the shaman Earthweaver. Earthweaver's got that pale white skin or white fur, I should say, and those eerie blue eyes. And Clawbinder comes forward and Now, do you? He's looking amongst you all, and he says, One of you is missing. Where's the warrior?"
Sadly, we have lost our stalwart comrade, Jason. He perished.
He growls low, and you can hear it's the warrior Strongwalker who kind of growls low. This is the one you guys may remember when you first encountered the Wemmick. Strongwalker was actually the one who went out and kind of like challenged Jason, and Jason was the one who met the challenge and kind of bellowed out and whatever. So here's the low kind of growl from Strongwalker, and then he starts roaring out like a snarling lion to the sky, and all of the Wemmick tribe begin joining in this as well too, including the two that have accompanied you guys back to Iron Fang Keep, and everyone's kind of roaring, and it's so loud it fills your chest, like you can feel it kind of trembling through the way you can like a loud engine passing by hits you like a wave. And do any of you join them in the call, or are you leaving that for them?
Oh,
I feel
join
like
them.
I get caught up in it.
Yeah, I for sure get caught up in it.
Okay,
Although
so
I probably like Hal since that's the theme of the helmet.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Reagan. Reagan stands with her head bowed, but tears streaming.
Okay. What about Kane?
Kane will just like chuck down any baggage or any nonsense that he's carrying, and he'll like just like throw up his arms, and he'll just be like bellowing like whoa.
Nice. So, with that, the entire tribe and most of our heroes calling out, we then it finally subsides, and Chief Clawbinder kind of puts a clawed hand on Strongwalker's shoulder and says, turns to you guys and says, "He will be missed and remembered." You have returned, though.
We have cleared the keep of the beastmen.
Let's
But
sup.
there's more there.
We will sup and we will talk. Come! And he leads you back to the you and the rest of the tribe, and kind of like the favored heroes or favored warriors and whatnot, all set up amongst the in the kind of the grand yurt where everyone is, and you're given drink, you're given food, and you now will kind of pick up at the scene of you guys filling in the chief, Earthweaver, and some of the other important quote unquote important warriors with their what's happened. So what do you guys say?
We tell them that you'll be troubled by the beastmen, at least the beastmen of Iron Keep no longer. Your children will be safe, and the rest of your pride will be able to roam more freely. However, there may be more out there in other places we do not know, but that threat has been neutralized. However, there remains another force in the keep, an ancient force. Reagan here was the last to encounter them. Perhaps she can fill you in on what she encountered.
And I can't remember. Did we didn't see this the first time through, so we never told them about this.
That's correct.
Yeah, so there was basically there were unquiet shades, is the way she describes them. People who are reenacting a scene from long ago, a leader of some sort, perhaps, old. He had the symbol of the Rangers on him, is that correct?
Yeah, Hyperboreans.
Rangers. And he was attacked by, or perhaps assassinated by other warriors. And it appeared to be around a table, like inside of a vast hall, so perhaps unexpected to him, or a coup, or something like that. And my interest in it at this stage is to find a way to put them to rest, but I'm also curious if you know anything of the Rangers' history or such that might
And just to add to that, Malo had, when he encountered these spirits, it was freezing cold, and they left rime in their wake.
That this is Earthbinder steps forward and says that it's long known that the Iron Fang Keep is a cursed place, dating from before the eldest of our kind. In a time when the Black Claw ranged that part of the tundra, the keep had stood for uncounted ages. It was the Borean Rangers, who the two-legged folk who held that location. But it's said that with the coming of the Warlock King and his forces, that they were uprooted and destroyed. And in that conflict between the Rangers and those of the Warlock King, or his squabbling lieutenants, that a fell curse took root in that place. It's said that Iron Fang Keep holds great secrets, but the magics of the Warlock King are a thing not to be trifled with. And we leave it, and have, since before the time of my grandfather and his grandfather.
So your advice would be just leave them for all eternity? They could be a reason for evil in this region.
I can see now that two of your number, and his head kind of nods towards Amar and his head nods towards Malo. Two of your number now bear the sigil, or the markings, of the Rangers. Do you intend to take the keep for yourself?
That was one possible idea, although we are on our way to another place very far from here.
A fabled location.
Yes.
The
Out of myth and legend.
You mean the
keep? We may come back when we discover it's not there.
The keep on the coast. The keep on the coast is what you mean.
Yes, that is the one.
There are men cased in steel who range out from there.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, even further than before, near our lands. They fell prey to the beastmen. Since we have left those lands, but we know that the men encased in steel, they will return. They seem to like those structures.
And this sounds like this is not good. Are they allies or?
They are not allies.
Of yours?
They are no allies of the Black Claw.
Uh-huh. Huh. But they have not been to Iron Fang. They weren't allied with the Beastmen.
No, they are foes of them. The Beastmen are enemies of all, and these men, they seem lost in this land.
Interesting.
So if we want the keep,
I mean, I don't think that we need to have that keep for ourselves. I don't anticipate that we're all planning to stay in this region, are we?
He looks, and Earthbinder kind of looks at you all, or looks at you a little surprised and a little mischievous as well too. He says, "You are not friends of the Black Claw? Friends are welcome in our lands."
We are friends, absolutely, and we will return. I do not know if we are putting down permanent roots here. However, that's open for discussion.
Yep. I don't think there's anything permanence and roots I don't subscribe to that kind of thinking.
You hear oh boy, Strongwalker kind of growls and kind of nods in agreement with you, Kane.
I'll growl back.
Nice.
I guess we all,
Respect.
Okay.
at this
Now-
point, we already present the Black Mirror to Alexander.
Okay.
And explain, Malo, I guess, and Iphigenia can explain what we discovered and how it worked.
So if you
Protect from diseased creatures.
now, do you think you would have saved it for a big reveal, or would you have shown them
Well,
beforehand?
this is a big reveal. This is like the big banquet, right? Or-
Right. Okay. So what happens is, as soon as you reveal that, everyone sort of jumps up and kind of growls in alarm and moves away from this thing.
Oh.
And Chief Clawbinder kind of says, "I thought you were friends of the Black Claw. You bring such a thing to us?"
Reagan
We
stands.
cover back up.
Reagan stands and holds her hand out. I personally advise destroying this thing. Others thought that perhaps you might find a use for it. It was not our intent to
Such is the craft of the Warlock King. You would bring such a thing
Aha.
here?
We did not know that was its origin.
Yeah, we felt honestly that it could help against these diseased creatures that you've encountered.
He
That's a defense for the camp.
Earthbinder kind of seems entranced by the thing. He seems of all of them, he seems the least put off by it. But without turning his eyes away from that thing, he says, "But such is all the gifts of the Warlock King. What first seems as aid soon poisons and corrupts." And Chief Clawbinder says, "Remove it! Remove it and destroy it!"
Sounds good to me.
Yes, whatever you believe is the right thing to do.
So the party kind of like passes wide as you guys drag this thing out of here. Now, the Clawbinder says, tries to sort of like, "Enough! It's gone! It's gone! They've removed it." And he gestures at Earthweaver and says, "Work your magics, clear them of this the reach of the prince." And he, Earthweaver gets out some stuff and kind of like is moaning, kind of, and making his way around. And he's got some little acolytes that are following along behind him as well. And Clawbinder sort of then thinks, "Oh, such friends of the Black Claw. We have because of the predations of the beastmen, we have little to offer in the way of thanks, but I have something that I think you will enjoy. A gift for you. Bring it out!"
That is not necessary, but we think.
And we see two Wemmick leading along something, and it's actually Arlen, is a man or a woman?
A man.
A man with a hood, like a burlap sack on his head, with arms tied behind the back, who's sort of let out like chattel, and then is tossed on the ground, kind of staggers and falls to the ground, his arms bound behind his back, before the lot of you. And then one of the Wemmick who has him concealed pulls the burlap sack off his head. And Arlen, what do we see?
So we see a man showing he very clearly is a Celt. He's not mixed at all. He's got those distinctive, the Celtic nose and the Celtic kind of reddish hair and all of that sort of stuff. And he is sort of not so much powerfully built as kind of sinewy and kind of lanky and almost there's a sort of weird like his arms are kind of too long for his body and his legs are a little bit too short to somehow almost kind of
Beastman.
But he's kind of and he's I imagine kind of incoherent and almost kind of growling at the Wemmick as they lead him along.
Yeah, so he's not looking in great shape. He looks a little underfed. He's dirty. He's wearing nothing but like a loincloth.
Who is this?
I mean, I kind of mutter under my breath and like Ixian. Does anyone else understand Ixian or any Thracian language? I figured these women. I mutter kind of semi-sarcastically, should we make a big protest like they did about the mirror? This is kind of bad.
I do not speak Ixian. But I do ask, Clawbinder, who is this person, and why is he bound?
This is no person. Thrall. Yours. We found him. We found him sneaking, trying, lost, much like the others of your kind. Those not like you, not friends of the Black Claws. We found him, and rather than deal with him as we would any interlopers in the Black Claw lands, we captured him. A gift for you.
Thank you.
Kane will nod at him and like take a side eye look at this bound character.
So, is it Altair? Is that his name, or Artair?
Artair.
Artair. So Artair, you're able to get yourself to your knees, and you can hear like they're all these things are speaking in common now. They have not been speaking in common to you. They've only been growling at each other. You had no idea these things could speak the common tongue.
And I'm gonna head over to this bound character and like get down with my face up to it. Why were you sneaking?
And Artair's he's not actually gonna spit in Kane's face, but he sort of makes a motion like he's going to, and then kind of grins.
Awesome.
Do you have another backup character?
You're gonna adopt us? I mean, we're trying to
I
find
have no desire to be a
my
thrall.
friend.
You've no desire to be a
Understood.
thrall. Then why did they say you were sneaking? Are you a rogue? What were you up to? Why did they think you were sneaking? Are you not a warrior?
Artair, you were part of a like a caravan guard kind of thing, and you were set upon by those sporemen that have become so problematic in this area. You fled while the rest of the caravan was slaughtered, and you got yourself lost. And then, to make matters worse, you somehow managed to stumble into apparently the lands of these things. They set upon you before you realized. They took you captive, and that's what brings you up to now.
Yep. You would not be so callous were our positions traded, would you? Release me and I shall tell you.
Okay.
I don't. Not in front of these guys. I caution.
He's ours now.
Yeah, he is ours.
I'll release this man.
He's ours. Yeah, but he's under. Just don't try anything.
I'll release this
Well,
man.
yeah,
I'll
he
put-
doesn't have a weapon
I'll-
or anything.
I'll cut him free. I'll pull him up. If he looks like he can stand, I'll help him up to his feet.
Yep.
Tell us your story. I want to know. Why did they say you were sneaking?
Altair, you currently have about 2 hit points.
Yeah. So, yeah, we can see,
I'll chuck him a jug or whatever I was drinking. While I was drinking out of my tankard, I'll give it across to him if he looks thirsty and that. Yeah, find your voice.
You hear, what's his name, Strongwalker says, "See, our friends, they treat not only their friends well, they treat their pets well, too."
That's actually kind of funny. You say it in common or the Wemmick? We don't
Common.
know the Wemmick.
Yeah, Colin.
and we see Artair kind of and spilling out over his beard and all of that sort of stuff, and then kind of finishes and says, a doughty warrior am I, but I was set upon by these creatures when I was out in the wilderness, alone, without allies. They took me captive. Beasts.
Reagan pauses and says, "You have not met the beastmen yet. These are not beasts. These are their lands, though you could not have known it. They
Yeah,
are
you're
allies."
fortunate they just did not kill you.
You hear from Strongwalker.
Amazon, I may be fortunate, but it doesn't quite feel like it.
So
Well, maybe your fortunes have turned.
picking up on these obviously Celtish roots of this character, I'll just I'm pretty sure I can speak Celt.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just with a very subtle few words under my breath say just be cautious, don't be too proud, under my breath, and then carry on.
Be cool, man. Be cool.
Yeah, be cool.
Exactly.
Be cool, Celtish one.
Netflix and chill.
Okay. So this is weird to you. I mean, Archer. I mean, these men and women seem to be accepted and respected by these fucking beasts.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of accepted and respected, guys, everybody give me a D3 roll, please. And you can add your reaction and loyalty adjustment to it, but it'll be a maximum of 3.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Okay, so take a look at your charisma and see if you've got any reaction loyalty modifiers. Apply that to it, and that is how much renown that you gain. Whoa, Iphigenia, look at you. Jesus. Maximum 3, though. So that is how much renown you get.
Cool. I'm at 5 total now.
Holy smokes.
So am I.
Okay.
With the ranging pride.
Yeah, is everyone at a minimum of 5 with the ranging prides now?
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, I'm at 7 now.
Holy smokes.
Wow.
Kane, are you at 5 as well?
I just got 2. I'm checking.
I think you guys are putting it on.
Yeah, I'm on
are,
6.
yeah.
I'm on 6.
That means, guys, you are all blooded claws with the ranging pride.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
Cool.
pretty cool.
So, what is going to happen is you guys are all going to get a black brand in the shape of a claw that is typically burned into the shoulder. But you can have it somewhere else if you like. And as gratitude for the for your efforts with the ranging prides, you guys can select. If you'll have to take a look at the faction benefits for the Reavers of Thule. But you're going to get either a Thulean compass, which is an enchanted stone that helps with navigation and with detecting ley lines. You can get Black Claw bracers, which give you it's basically for casters to get an AC bonus, but I think no one is a pure caster in the group. You can get a bundle of sleep smoke, which is a brazier. It's just as if it's a brazier of sleep smoke. It's basically it can create like a bunch of smoke that can cast a sleep spell on things caught in the smoke, or you can have a Tundra Tiger as a mount or follower.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Yeah,
That's
I
a
definitely.
no-brainer.
Yeah,
Well, actually, Reagan is a pure caster, but
She uses armor though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so she's not. It's the like the priest, any of the magician classes, the things that don't wear armor.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. I was just looking at your pure casters under Astonishing Cantrips.
Oh, okay.
Monk,
Oh,
I
see,
guess.
yeah, right. Sorry, go ahead, guys. I interrupted somebody there.
No, monk maybe doesn't use armor, right? So
Right. Yeah, well, he's got that cloak of protection already. That gives the bonus. So, what are you guys thinking here? Do you have you given any thought as to what you want to get as your reward before this, or?
nope.
yes.
Yes. Mala, what are you going to take as your reward?
I need a Thulean compass because I A, can't figure out how to get to Tuleborg, but B, I need to be able to roam the lands and find more potential members of this order that I'm building.
Awesome. Okay, so that means the detecting the ley lines will certainly be of value for that. Trying to pick a place that's going to be of importance. So, Malo, go ahead and add to your character sheet a Thulean compass. Kane, Reagan, or Iphigenia, have you decided what you want to select?
Oh yes.
I'm looking at now.
Kane, what are you taking?
I will be taking the no-brainer option of a Tundra Tiger.
Nice.
Get in.
Awesome. So I'll give you the stats for that, and I'll fill that in before. Actually, no, fuck, I can probably do that right now. What are you going to name your Tundra Tiger? Jeff.
I will
Steve.
I will name my tiger after our fallen comrade.
Awesome.
Oh, that's great.
That gets
That's
an
great.
astonishing point, or a point of
Yeah,
astonishing
that's
fortune.
great.
That's
Oh yeah,
Better than- my suggestion was going to be you could be Kane and Kanye.
That's good too.
I'm looking for the Kev, the Brazier of Sleep Smoke, which is
so. What that
somewhere-
does, it's under the what do you call it? The miscellaneous magic items. So. Oh, hold on. Maybe it isn't. One sec. It actually might be under. It's. Where is it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so brazier of sleep smoke when the enchanted coals of this 12-inch diameter. So this isn't what it looks like. It's just the function of it. After 2 rounds, the bundle begins emitting deep green smoke, and all within 30 feet must make a device saving throw or fall into a magical slumber from which it is impossible to emerge unless dispel magic or remove curse is cast. They will remain lit for 1 full turn, so any newcomers will be subject to it. The item may be used 6 times before it burns out.
Is it? That's permanent.
It permanently burns out, but
Yeah.
I mean it's a pretty powerful effect.
Permanent sleep. Basically.
Permanent sleep, yeah. Yep.
That's awesome.
It's pretty hard to use, but we might find a use for it, so she'll take that.
Nice. Okay, so you got your bundle of sleep smoke. Kane gets that, and then just leaves Iphigenia. What are you thinking?
I was thinking of the tiger also.
Okay.
Is there only one available?
No. You guys each select the same thing.
Yeah, but Colin stole my thunder for the name.
No way.
You could name him Jason too.
Yes.
Or was that Jason's character?
You guys, it's hardly fair, to have only one. I clearly need to kill another PC in order to have a proper name for the.
It's fine.
Perfect.
I'll think of a name at
Okay.
some point. But you said like a companion or a mount, right?
Yeah, it is this is a medium-sized thing, so it's not.
Can't really be a mount. It's more
Yeah,
like
it can't really be a mount. I think that's a carryover from my. What I was saying was a PF2 thing. Okay, so hold on here. So I'm just gonna make. Here we go. I don't know if I'll find an illustration for it afterwards. But Jason the Tundra Tiger is here. It is a monster, and okay. Now, is there anything else you guys wish to do in?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, what's that?
When it comes to the sun is going down, before that point in time, I want to see if there's a little bit of a high point within the vicinity of the camp where maybe there's a good flow of air and stuff.
Yep.
And I'll make it known to my companions that I'm gonna head out to pay my respects to our fallen comrade and scatter his ashes. I'm gonna take his favorite drinking vessel that he's come to know since we've been with a Wemmock. Give it a good filling up till it's overflowing with alcohol.
Yeah.
Gonna head up onto a rise and sort of just make a small cut in my hand, drop a bit of my sort of like my warrior blood into the tankard, and like flick it out across the ground, and then like shake out his ashes into the wind in a sort of a solemn manner, so that he's like spread out across the plains,
Awesome.
and back to being one with the environment, as it were.
Nice.
That's great.
Very cool.
I'd say a poem, but it's not really my jam.
Okay, let's see here.
I say that calls for astonishing point, Kev.
I would agree. I would agree. Okay, and bite.
Reagan will join, by the way, but she's not going to.
Okay.
You chanting, Reagan? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to duplicate this here. Oh, shit, I hit pop out. Come on, Kev. Come on, Kev. Keep it together. What the fuck? Here we go. All right, so we got Jason, the Tundra Tiger, and I'm going to duplicate this. Boom. So, the...
We should have got an accredited GM.
Totally. Show me your papers. Papers. All right. So there you go, guys. We got. You can rename these characters. The Jason, the Tundra Tiger, and copy of it, and then I'll. Oops, there we go. I will do that, but it should have the. It has an attack rate. I can do 2 claws and 1 bite per round, and you can spend those things around the way you want. But you guys have that. Excellent. Now, let me see here. One of the things that they're curious of, that the Black Claws are curious, is like, what is your plan now? What do you guys intend on doing? Do you want to know more ways you can help the Black Claws? Do you intend to return and seize the keep for the Rangers? Do you intend to just travel on to the keep on the sea, or the keep on the coast?
Reagan has one would think that she would have asked Lalo at some point, probably Amar, since they were in the Ranger. Was Amar in the first time that they went in and saw the scene?
Sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Robert. Sorry, you're...
Yeah, me too.
Sorry, I just put on a fan, which I think is... So my question is, was Amar in the room with the scene that was getting played out when he had his robe on?
Yep.
He did come in.
Okay. I was
After
just
me.
curious. Okay. Sorry. I was.
But what they reacted to was basically Malo standing in the way and getting passed through
Yes,
more than
right.
anything else.
Yes.
Right.
I was just wondering if, like, somehow the robes of the Rangers might be a key to
Right.
maybe. But anyway, so I think Reagan's opinion would be she would like to get to Tuleborg, but also explore a way to put those spirits to rest, not necessarily take over the keep. But also now she's kind of addressing people directly. She's like, and I think that we should do that just because we don't know what's in the cellar, and that could still be a threat to our friends.
Yeah, I'm for. I mean, the keep sounds like a long-term plan, but I'm definitely in the short term for heading to Tuleborg and getting a lay of the land. We should find out what other these factions, these armored knights that they met are, what their designs are, if they become rivals or enemies.
So Clawbinder does have a... I just rolled up here too. They do have a task for you if you wish. What this will get you is more renown with them, and or possibly favors with them. But the men in metal that they've talked about too, the ones ranging around on horses in their regions, they don't know what these things, what they want, and they cannot, they have to kill these things. If you can capture some, if you could ambush them and capture them some and find out what they're doing and why they're pressing into Black Claw lands, that would be of great value to the Black Claws.
And they ride out of this keep on the sea.
They seem to, yeah, they come from there originally, and they don't know why they're ranging in their lands.
Okay. So there you go.
What direction is?
yeah.
Sorry?
Are they just sort of wandering? Like, or how, are they? Is there a way we would be able to find them?
You would have to you may have to be keeping an eye out for them, but it is in the region of Iron Fang Keep.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the lands of the Black Claw. That's where these things have been for the last 2 seasons. They've been ranging out there, pushing further.
But do they come from the sport on the sea that you mentioned?
The keep on the coast, yes.
Oh, there you go.
All men seem to come from there.
So we should go there, find out what they're about, maybe meet some on the way.
Yes.
How far is the keep?
The keep, 2 days journey to the northeast.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not very far. I do as well want to go to Tuleborg for my own reasons. But should we investigate this?
Is that your people's name for the keep on the coast?
Oh, that's Tuleborg. Yes.
Kane at this point, he makes no secret of the fact that he quite likes the Wemmock, and I'm quite an outdoorsy kind of guy. Really, I feel I've got perhaps a lot to learn from these people. They've got this similar nomadic kind of culture that I can identify with. So I'm quite happy to hang out with them. But if you wish, I'll go with you to Tuleborg. But I think ultimately it may be more trouble than it's worth.
Well, we could carry out this mission they've asked us to perform as part of that.
Yes,
Right.
because it does take us to Tuleborg, or at least
Right.
that
So we
direction.
go to. I mean, instead of wandering around and hoping for randomly chancing a meeting with these, let's find out who they are.
And we could either catch them coming or going, or somewhere within Tuleborg.
Burn down their house. We're good at that.
And then we can always come back to the Wemmicks and report what we've discovered.
All right, sweetie.
Since I thought it was a lot farther to Tuleborg from here.
Yeah, I
but
didn't know it was that
thankfully it's
close. Let's
Yeah,
take
so-
advantage and get there. Oh, it's Arter. So, have you been to Tuleborg? Was your caravan out of there?
I assume so, since that's
Yeah.
where everybody's from.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know of these men in metal?
Yeah.
Oh, have you never faced a knight in battle?
These.
I have once, and I can tell you, it's not an experience I am
Well, who do they? I mean,
itching
we've heard of these people. I mean,
eat.
Cataphracts, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But who do
They're-
they
So-
work for? Right?
Arter, I think just from scuttlebutt around Tuleborg, what you know is that they're one of the ways that what's his name, Foxbeard, Thurman Foxbeard got the nobles of Cromarium to come out here was promising lands to second sons, third sons, things like that. There are you've seen lots of, wannabe knights or landowners, who are trained, the sons, of noble men who have been trained in the ways of war with nothing really to show for it apart from, their armors and their lands. There's lots of them that are ranging out trying to find places to lay down, to lay down kind of roots. They call themselves the Second Sons, which is a sort of an informal alliance amongst those out there. So what it could be is, because Thurmond himself doesn't have like armored cavalry or anything like that. His allies, though, within the Second Sons, they may be the ones going out, and whether they're aware of it or not, I mean, you would know well enough that a pre-made keep that just needs to be like as a fixer-upper project, that is a big attraction for for wannabe lords.
When you say fixer-upper, there's kind of a lot of fixer-upper needed to do to get rid of, But
Yeah.
yes, that is a consideration. What I was getting at more was the idea that Arter can tell you guys the way that you fight knights is not what any of you guys are equipped for. The best thing to do is to have men with longbows and pikes in a dense formation that are able to repel a charge, because it's a terrifying thing to get charged by a heavily armored man on a massive warhorse, and you get run over pretty easily. And I think Arter has, I'm imagining kind of one, so because he's sort of based on this sort of Welsh longbowman type, imagining that he has probably been in like a single skirmish and realizes that, yes, these are, a man in heavy armor on a powerful warhorse is a serious threat to anybody who is not really well prepared to take them on.
Yeah.
You
So
seem to know quite a bit about this, fighting these men. Do you have some experience?
Well, you might say that my homeland is oppressed by the knightly sort.
just remember, no one else is from Earth other than
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, okay.
Not
Just want to make sure we're.
imagining.
Yeah.
No,
Alright.
I'm clear. I'm not an actual Welshman.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that because the way it's described in the fiction of Hyperborea specifically is that the Celts are sort of at that
Yeah.
level of technology,
Yeah.
and so they would be disadvantaged against guys in, field plate or full plate on war horses and that sort of thing. So I'm thinking that that's something that Arter is at least kind of aware of.
Okay.
And he may, it's sort of unclear from his description how much he has personal experience and how much is just sort of hearsay, and he's not very interested in being clear about the distinction between the two. But,
Okay. Love it.
Is it pretty clear? Is it pretty clear to Kane that Arter's a bowman, judging by his physique and his fingers?
Can, anybody who's used a bow can tell that Arter he's got that build.
Yeah, I'm a Fletcher as my secondary thing, so
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Okay.
I'd spot an archer, I guess.
So then, if you are intent on traveling to Tuleborg, then Chief Clawbinder doesn't want to stand in the way of you guys reaching there, certainly, but he knows.
Well, but we do want to carry out this task for you. Yeah. Our intention is to go there to find out this information and come back and inform you.
Well, you will find us amongst our homeland. Now that you have liberated, or driven at least the nest of beastmen from Ironfang Keep, you will find us in our lands, and you will always be welcome as the blooded claws of the Blackclaw.
We are honored that you have accepted us.
Okay. Oh, I think you just muted yourself there, Colin.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably spend the evening chatting with the Wemmocks and maybe quietly discussing my reservations, suggesting that I would probably be happier staying here.
So,
however,
Strongwalker asks, why don't you stay then?
Well, I feel like I don't wish to desert my companions at this point in time, and they're talking about extending your mission and following your mission. Perhaps we can find some useful information to bring back to you. So for now, perhaps this is as the gods intended.
It is a proper Wemmick that puts his pride first. And he hits you and he says, "You will be back." The winds tell me.
I will indeed.
Okay. So
Nice.
then, anything else you guys want to have happen before we cut to the morning?
Not for me.
Okay, so they will load you up with all the supplies that you need or at least they say you will need. You have, let's say, 5 days worth of rations for everybody. Cloud Wound and the other surviving Wemmick, they're going to stay behind, obviously. But you do have now two, what do you call it? Two Tundra Tigers that you are bringing with you. So that is something.
How do they deal with food? Like, we need to provide for them as well?
You do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They'll consume basically one ration as if it's your own. We'll assume that, if you're the way you guys have been hunting so far, a meat portion will suffice. And I'm going to assume if you're buying the stuff beforehand, the rations, you'll be buying something that's appropriate for the Tundra Tigers.
Cool. And are they like black and white ones?
Yeah. I'm picturing kind of like Siberian tigers, effectively.
And are they like youngish?
Yeah, they're probably like young enough to be retrained, like they would be, so they would imprint on you guys, and I mean,
still impressionable.
Yeah, and then
do they do that? Right, real tigers have like the shark skin thing on their tongues.
Yeah,
the tiger comes up and licks your face and takes off a layer of skin or something.
Yeah. I think don't they have blue tongues too? The Siberian tigers.
Yeah, they're kind of like
I don't remember. Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway,
cool.
Okay, so then the next morning, you guys grab your stuff, and I need to take just a very 1 minute break. All that coffee's come crashing down right now, so I'll be right back. If you guys want to talk about your plans for travel, whether you're going to go northeast, northwest, straight to the east, you decide, and then we'll see what happens.
And do they tell us what direction? Is it basically
northeast? They say.
They say northeast. Okay, great. I'll bring back to you.
Oh, Colin, I think
we're just gonna head northeast, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm just trying to think. Two Tundra Tigers in Thule. I wonder how they will look upon that.
Well, if they don't like it, I can tell you where I'll be headed.
Yeah.
So have you got any equipment? Has your man Arter got any stuff?
So I'm imagining that if the Wemmick took him captive, they probably kept his stuff, and presumably they'd be willing to return it to him. So assuming that that's the case, I have some kind of light armor and the pride and joy of the collection, this yew long bow that is.
I'll have a word. Yeah, I'll have a word with the elders.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Old man bladder. Sorry, do you guys have anything else you wanted to do in the encampment before you set out?
Yeah,
we were making sure that Kane could negotiate the return of my equipment.
Yes. Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll just explain to him that for this guy, we're not really. I think it would appear that he's a fellow warrior, and I.
You can do with your property as you wish.
Yeah. We could do with his equipment coming back to him, and I think he'll be an asset to the group. So.
I'm imagining a scene like Legolas in the Fellowship of the Ring when he gets the bow with Arter and his longbow again, and he pulls it back and lets it pull it. He's got just a big grin. He's back in his element now that he's got his bow.
Okay.
I'll be checking out the fletchings and that on your arrows to see whether you come from like a proper legit kind of see if they're how.
You guys each get a point of astonishing fortune for that. That's great. All right. So then, guys, which way are we traveling here? To direct you to the east, northeast, or northwest?
I think we're going northeast.
Northeast. Guys, just remember, that is the decision. That's the direction you chose. So, here we go. Let's reveal this. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, let's move you in there, and let's see what happens in that darkened box. You set out And again, it's more trackless tundra. And for 5 hours, you make your way across, keeping an eye out in all these directions. Arter, it's the first time you've been back out here. Your allies seem to have a much better sense of where they're going than what, where you were stumbling around. Though, okay, what class is Arter?
He's a fighter.
Nice. Once again,
Cool.
no wilderness survival people. You guys are great.
We got tigers now, though, Kev.
That's right.
Yeah. And let me tell you, so if I let my dog navigate for me, it'd be awesome. I would find every single bit of half-chewed jerky.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that. We found dog
Yeah,
shit
you
again.
would not go hungry, Kev. You would go hungry.
I think what I and my dog feel is edible is dramatically different.
Right.
Okay, so the first half, David, the sun is now high in the sky. Oh, sorry, Carl, were you saying something? Oh, you're muted again.
Muted.
Kane ate beastmen, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Eating
Right.
whatever his tiger finds.
Yeah, he's not got what you'd call a discriminating palate. So for the first half of the day is uneventful. The sun is high in the sky. It's poking through the scattering of clouds that fill this blue sky. So this is the first day that seems to be even remotely nice traveling across the tundra, the miles of tundra that make up Thule. Now from here, guys, carrying on the same direction, or going elsewhere.
I mean, I think we should take a straight shot. Yeah.
Based on Knud's map, that seems
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way to go.
a bold choice. Bold
Kev,
choice.
you need to note that whilst we're doing this, I'm playing fetch with my tiger.
So, of course.
I wanna get it into the spirit of like retrieving stuff.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
It goes racing
you
off.
know, yeah, and then when it comes back, I'll give it a little reward each time, and I'm just bonding, man.
It's a little like Beastmen nuggets. Here you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Have you ever tried training a cat? I mean, it's a fascinating.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you call it?
They have trained tigers, but then they turn on their
Yeah.
masters eventually.
Yeah. Didn't what's it? One of those.
I suspect their masters were not caned.
Yeah, Siegfried and Roy. Didn't one of them get? One of them got
Yeah.
mauled by a tiger a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, as the day gets long, as the sun goes down in the west, there is no sign of any life. So here's what we need to do: is I need first off if anybody is going to first find water in the morning. So Mala, why don't you give me? Well, let's say just the evening. We'll give you give me one water find check here.
Okay. Nope.
No water, unfortunately. But as you get to the end of the day, now, as you guys are making camp, someone's going to need to find firewood. Someone's going to have to, if you want, someone can go hunting as well, or multiple people can go hunting.
I mean, I don't know if we need to hunt.
Yeah.
So depending on how much realism we want, right? Tigers need a lot of calories to stay.
We're not. Let's not worry too much about. Yeah, like I just said, like
Don't try to screw us over, player.
Yeah.
I'm just
You already
saying.
told us the rules.
Animals spend most of their time looking
Just
for food.
don't be envious
Right.
that we have tigers and you don't.
That's what it is.
Tiger envy.
Um,
I think that's a condition in PF2. Tiger
I'll
envy.
talk to Kane and go, hey, maybe we should have the tiger learn how to chase people. And I look over at Arter.
It seems like, do we want to take the risk of hunting? I mean, we have enough
We
rations,
have rations, right?
to
Yeah.
easily make it.
Okay.
Do we want to do firewood? If so, Reagan's happy to do so, even though that always seems to go badly.
That's true.
Yeah. So foraging for. Where is it here? Firewood. And for those listening at home, of course, we are using my #1 favorite AD&D book, The Wilderness Survival Guide. Oh boy, King. All right.
Want to back me up?
Yeah, those books are hidden gems everywhere. They even have mining rules and what you can get out of the mining operation.
Yeah.
The Dungeoneers does, I think.
The Dungeoneers one does, yeah. Yeah. It's I mean I just love these books. They're so So many great ideas for playing up the experience. I mean, having rules for forest fires, you can guarantee those are coming into play, guys.
Awesome.
If there were any
Find a
forest.
first.
There is.
Right.
I mean, at least on Newt's map, there appears to be.
Yeah, the minute we find some trees, they'll all be burnt to the ground.
Exactly.
In what way will Kev make this horrifically dangerous?
Yeah, that's right.
Just
Okay.
Like we've already learned, never ever get on a boat.
Yeah.
Ever.
Okay. I did get something recently too. I got my ships in sea for this campaign.
Oh, awesome.
What's that then?
It's for second edition.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's one of the like late life cycle things that came out. It's like the Necromancer Guide, the guide of what do you call it? Castle Guide, the Complete Book of Villains, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's shit that just Greg suckered me into. He's like, "Hey, you don't have this in your collection, do you?" And I'm like, "Ooh, I need it." All right, so then would you kindly give me anyone who's looking for firewood, go ahead and give me a percentile roll, please.
Nice and average.
I think it's just Reagan.
Okay, Reagan's not, and I think Kane, aren't you helping out with the firewood look or no? Or
Yeah, I can.
Or you're
No, I
playing
can
with your
do.
pet.
Well, I was playing with my pet, but
Okay.
we
Why
can
don't I do firewood, since
we
I'm
can
the
look
new
at
guy?
firewood at the same time.
Okay. Give me a percentile roll.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's a 10.
60
That's a
60
D10.
something.
Oh, D10.
Yeah, so 62.
62. Okay, so no, unfortunately. So for the first, 10 minutes that you guys are looking around, there is nothing. Go ahead and give me another roll.
Oh, both of us.
Whoops.
Okay. Oh, is Archer looking as well?
D10 again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Where's the-
So let me place. It looks like
100, I think.
you've got a token for Altair now.
Mhm.
It took me a while. Roll20 didn't like the first picture, so this is the backup.
Okay. Let me get to here.
World 20 has not been your friend the last couple of days.
Mhm.
Not really, no.
So I found out
But it's
too.
okay.
You guys will be happy to know. So in the what do you call it? For the guy who made the maps that I use in my Barrow Maze campaign is a guy named Gabriel. I think it's either Pickard or Packer, and he also has a couple packs for Tundra and for Arctic stuff that I'm going to pick up this weekend. So I did not have time to do it before, but it's fucking great because I'm going to have a whole bunch. Instead of you guys will not seeing this same map that we keep using over and over and over
Right.
again.
Right.
Okay, so let me get. Just gonna grab your
We're
token.
about to get. That means we're about to roll for initiative.
Why would you say that?
Okay, so let me get everybody over here. It's everyone's favorite map, the Tactical Tundra map.
No more looking for firewood ever.
Okay, so let's see here. So Malo's back in camp, so I'm gonna put you over here. Kane was helping look. Amar was back in camp. Reagan's looking. Iphigenia's back in camp, and let's drag out good old Artair. Artair. That's a great picture.
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, and let me.
There's a lot of, for some reason, there are a whole bunch of variations on English longbowmen that look, almost like they're all at Agincourt in 1415. For some reason, who knows why?
Funny that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
strange.
Are they all illustrated by Angus McBride too?
Probably.
Yeah. I snagged a couple in preparation for Arlen's charity session. I've been picking up some old MERP stuff, and it's all got Angus McBride art on the covers, and fuck, is that stuff good.
That's cool.
Okay, let's see here. Let's see.
This is my war game rules that I'm going to be running with my youngest.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Dragon Rampant, Osprey Publishing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, check this out. Boom. We got our cats.
Oh, that's cool.
You reorient them. Rawr. So this will be Yason the cat. Oh, it looks like I'm going to have another comment to delete. Some idiot posting shit about 5th edition, arguing on my...
What's he saying about 5th edition?
I have no idea. It's like I saw it pop up as a reminder. It's going to be someone who's posted some, counter argument about 5th edition on the Pathfinder review. It's so weird that like edition warriors feel the need to fucking chirp in about games that clearly the video's not about.
It's weird because I play both games. So.
Well, yeah, and that's just it. Like it doesn't have to be one way or the other. And I expressly said at the start of the video, this is my personal opinion on 5e, why I personally don't like it. And for you to share your own personal stuff, I got a better idea. Record your own fucking video. Jeez. Okay.
For me, 5e's fine. Probably half of our group. Well, our whole group basically run games, and half of them will play 5e, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine with me.
Exactly.
No, and it's not an unplayable game by any means, and it's not something I won't play. It's just that it's just not my. There are other games that I prefer.
Yeah.
So.
If I'm not running, I just never find that the rules make a whole big lot of difference to what I do.
Yeah.
They just when you're playing, I just think it just flavors it a little bit. It's most important for the GM.
Right.
Yeah.
And really, it's the adventure and the feel of the adventure. Like I'm running like a 5e game in Mystara, but I do hex crawl and I use exploration mechanic from OSR. So
Oh, nice.
The players are none the wiser.
Yep.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. I saw someone else had posted about their Baramaze is a kind of a kludge together, part OSR stuff, part 5e stuff, and part something else.
Yeah.
And stuff.
People do that.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that kind of stuff is great. It adds the community has stuff they can add to that if they want to respond to that person. I've got stuff I can respond to it, but when it's just edition warring stuff, it's like what are you like? This is not adding anything to the conversation. You're just venting your own feelings, and you're free to do that on your own fucking channel.
Yeah.
So it's a little draconian, I realize, but for those listening at home, I'm venting. It's been an experience having. Suddenly running a game more often that people have strong opinions about for no apparent reason. Yep. Okay, now where is it here? Sorry, I'm trying to find the token I had used a moment ago. Turns out I've loaded a crap ton of new assets in the last couple of weeks. So, holy shit, no wonder I'm feeling tired. Like, look at this. I've good golly. There is a bunch of other games that have been run in the last little while, apparently.
Yeah.
You run every day, Kevin.
What's that?
You run like every day.
Yeah, basically. Sir, what was that?
I was just going to say, I would say to anybody out there that's playing a game, don't matter what game you're playing, you kind of want to hang with your fellow gamers because there's plenty of folk that want to knock gaming and knock this hobby as something weird and I don't think we want to be sort of fighting amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a niche of probably a niche of a niche. It doesn't make sense to be infighting.
No, I'm with you on that.
Well, and I think for me, there's an element of edition wars are kind of silly because very rarely are there are big differences. You have saying this one particular D20 roll high game is better than all the other D20 roll high games. That's like really,
yeah,
like kind of the same game.
Funny, right?
Well, and I don't like the thing is with respect to the comments. Like if for people posting on Twitter or whatever else like that, I don't care whatsoever. But like when a video is about one specific topic and you're choosing to like invent as if there's an argument that's been presented and then try and present a counter argument to something that was not an argument. It doesn't add anything to the comments. You know, it doesn't add anything to the conversation.
No, it's not very relevant, is it?
No, it's not relevant at all. So, there we go. Okay.
I think we're getting close to the cliffhanger time, huh?
We're getting close. Yeah, that's right. This wasn't me stalling. This was me trying to find the darn setup for it. Okay. I had to set up a mountain lion and set up a new character, and boom. Let's see how many of these things we got. I guess we will end on a cliffhanger. It's pretty good. Okay. So, what we see, guys, and I'll move you over here. me roll my dice. Find out numbers. Hey, Hobbs is in the chat.
Uh-oh.
Nice. Hey, Habs.
It says additions are
Howdy,
2
Hobbs.
speed. Yeah. And we got Radelk says, Spike Pit speaks truth. In all caps.
Nice.
Preach, brother, preach.
Peace, one love.
Hobbs, we almost made it to Tuleborg today. Almost.
Almost. I don't even
Yeah,
want to
we're-
go there. I don't even want to go there anymore. I went off the idea.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Off the reservation.
so here's what we see, guys. Is you're looking for stuff, and you can picture like we've got Reagan, who is looking for the collecting the firewood and stuff like that. We've got Kane, who's sort of playing fetch with Yason, and we've got Arter, who's also keeping an eye out for these things. And that is when you guys see. I'm gonna make a little more of a gap here because you guys should be a little further away. I'm using the ranges from DMG 2nd edition for this, and you see sort of shambling across the kind of the limits of your because the sun is going down, so the limits of your vision. Archer, you're the one who first spots this because I don't think that you have actually seen these before. And you look, and there's a crowd of about maybe 10 people that are shambling kind of along in a kind of manner in your direction. And you say, well, what do you say when you see them? You don't know what they are necessarily. What would Arter say?
Yeah, I think he'll sort of like whistle or something like that and say, "Guys, something out there."
And why don't let's see here? We'll end on this cliffhanger. Robert, you missed last session, so why don't you give us a D6 roll for surprise? Oh!
Case where one is bad, right?
One is very bad, yeah.
Never send Reagan out.
So you guys look
Firewood.
up, and I think that this is the you've never seen them in such a large pack. These are the same shambling animated forms covered in that hideous moss or growth that you've seen so many times that have tried to kill you so many times, but you've never seen a pack this large. And you're hearing the stories of the change of the seasons that come in with the bringing of the red the red threat or the red death. That's a good name. Someone should write a story about that.
Yeah.
And I think what we'll do is we'll leave you guys with a surprise, and we will find out what happens with these next session. So, all right, let's. Actually, let me move us over. I'm going to move over to our map of Thule, and we'll make with the outros. Okay, so for those listening at home, whenever you, Kevin, just want to do a zombie sounds again. Yes, that's absolutely right, Hobbs. I want to do my zombie sounds again. So for those listening at home and those who joined us in chat, thank you so much for joining us for today's episode. This is episode 15 of Reavers of Thule, guys. You've spent now 45 hours in Thule, and you're still not back at Tuleborg. Also, congrats to Arlen for his introduction of his new character. You survived one session. That's, one day without accident goes up on the on the big board. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. Alternatively, if you can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings, and you can also find me on, or shoot me an email, I should say, at dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You can also find me on the Dungeon Musings podcast, available on your finest podcast platforms everywhere. And if you enjoy the dulcet sounds of any of our other players as well, you can find Colin on the Spike Pit podcast, most recently talking about certified dungeon masters. And you can also find Arlen on the Live from Pelham's Wasteland podcast as well. And what did you talk about this week, Arlen?
I don't remember. So the last thing I posted was it's been a little while since I posted.
Star
The last
Wars.
thing I've got no. It's my vision for basically my serial numbers filed off Arthurian campaign, so that I can do all of the ridiculous shit that's in Thomas Mallory that they got rid of for the Great Pendragon campaign.
Nice. So there you go. In addition, you may note that there's a link to something called Heroes Save Villages in the description of this video. That is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. We don't do any monetization. We don't run ads. We don't have a Patreon. If you are inclined to toss some GP in the direction of the channel, I'd ask that you consider clicking through and learning more about the Heroes Save Villages campaign, which benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity. It's a really terrific charity, active in over 130 countries, that provides benefits for over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children. It's a really, really great charity that does terrific work, and I know that they've been very grateful for the generosity of our players and viewers to date too, because we've raised in this past year about a little over $2,700 for the kids who benefit from those services. So it's a really, the community's been very, very good to that particular charity. I don't want anyone to feel obligated, of course, but if you are inclined to learn a little more about that, please feel free to click through, and you can learn all about the rewards we have. At the time of recording, I still have yet to amend them, but by the end of the month, starting in September, we're going to have some new rewards available too. In addition, just as a reminder, if you did enjoy the look of this game and you don't know about the Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers before, or did not know about it before, at the time of recording, there's one more day left in the current Kickstarter for Jeff Chelanian's the 2 new adventures they're trying to kickstart, but as add-ons, you can also get copies of the rulebook, the Player's Handbook, the core rulebook, the DM's Guide, and a bunch of other really cool stuff. I'll amend the video to have it's 1 day left in the Kickstarter, so I'm not going to bother putting the link in, but you can, of course, go to Kickstarter and look for Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea and find all that information. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. So, George, Carl, Robert, Colin, and Arlen, thank you so much for joining me this morning back in Thule. XP for today. How much does everyone have back for, what do you call it? For, Astonishing Fortune. Yeah, there we go.
Wow.
6. Wow, you guys got quite a bit. 6, 7.
Hey, how did you get 4?
8, 9, 10.
Lots of role playing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice job.
And I'll get you guys. We got back. All right. So it's not it's not a windfall for today, guys. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. Everyone is getting 30 XP. So, little bit of a difference between last session and this session.
Yeah, I missed the wrong one.
Yeah, really. Awesome. Okay, then that, I believe, will be it for our session. So again, for those listening at home, either joining us in chat, Hobbs, it was great to see you again in chat. Radelk, thanks so much for joining us. And Shanti, thank you for joining us as well in chat. And for those listening at home at another time, thank you again. And until next time, happy gaming.